Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Well, today we have two maps. The second one up today, as voted in by the BonBon buddies over on Patreon, has been around for about 3 years now and has a little bit of an ancient feel to it. A little bit old school and one for those with East Coast American vibe. Those that like that sort of thing. Anyway, but before we have that, we've got a map which has a little bit of class. There's definitely something going to be coming from this creator in the future that's going to leave our jaws dropping. This map, not too experienced, in fact.
It's my first map.
That's right. It's got all of the things about it that just say, hey, you want to play me. And I like the way that the map really invites you to explore. That is something that is very rare, I find, in maps these days. But before we have a look at either map, I want to get started with the daily reminder, so let's use this one. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's first map is Citadel, range by Calisarin. Okay, Calisarin, if you're watching this, you've got my attention. I don't think this map is quite the finished product, but it is still a good one. And good one's a good thing, yeah? Here's your start square, just a hint of water at the top there to play with. Terrain heights, just a really nice shape and a little bit undulatory. Some gentle hills going on across the map. Strong resources across the map as well if you like playing the resources game, and if you happen to have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, we've got most of the little fishies here, there or everywhere. I think that's a good mix. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Okay, now this is a bit weird. Mass transit, yes. The map pack, the content creator map pack. No, you don't need that one. We're using the Clara theme and the Relight Cool Lut. And also there's a very special BonBon error today. Yes, as you'll notice in the one-click collection, the ability to read. Unfortunately, BonBon doesn't seem to have the ability to read. In fact, today's review will be in slightly the wrong colour, but I'm going to put that right. I spotted this just before the final edit, and we'll do a cinematic with the correct relight settings. Basically, the relight settings are wrong, okay? Not massively wrong, as you'll see when we get to the end, when I show you the correct settings. It's a cooler, slightly cooler vibe to the map than we're seeing here. But it'd be wrong of me not to show it. I didn't have time to re-record the entire flyover, but a quick cinematic just to give you a feel for how it's supposed to look. So when you rate this map at the end of the show, and please do, not enough people do these days, please take a couple of moments to rate the map so we can use it in the viewer's choice at the end of the month. But yes, this is a map that really does make you feel like you want to have a proper explore. Here's the one intersection on the map. This is just going to feed you in, and I'd say I kind of like this. It's off deep in, not quite in the fog, but as you can see, we're quite close to the edge of the map. That just loops up there and back around from where we were up that way, there, over that way. And then this is going to lead us down into the start square. Now, we have got a few trees under the road down here. I always say this one, I'm going to say it again because it's always somebody's first show. Trees under the road, if you're playing vanilla rules or with anarchy settings that don't allow it, these trees will be hidden. I always show them because they are part of the tree count, which isn't necessarily a huge problem most of the time, but it will be for some people. And of course, it's good sound standards if you put a road down not to have any trees underneath it. So these are the reasons. Anyway, down here, the lane merge here could be a little bit slicker. Just a little bit. Now, I'm going to do a very quick fix here. It's a budget fix. But if I just show you what sort of thing I'm looking for, again, for those people that are fairly new, something like this, something like that. So just do a little bit of bending here and there. Again, this is I would probably spend half an hour on this if this was my own map and my own work. But something more like Something more like that. I mean, yeah, very quick budget fix. I'm not proud of that, far from it. But see how it looks a lot better than if I just undo all of those back to where we were before. There we go. It's an improvement. It's not perfect, and I don't claim that it is. But that's the kind of level, extra level of detailing that you can go to for extra score. You wouldn't have got extra score for doing it the way that I just did it exactly, but by spending the little bit of extra time, you do. Anyway, a little elevated section across the rail. Nice little bit of rail on the map as well, which we'll have a look at in a moment. But yeah, the exploring of the map, this road will stop in the start square. And, oh, hang on. Little thing here, for those of you that follow the preview images. This little bit of road here is elevated. And then we've got the hill behind it. Now, assuming that we have proper rain mechanics, the rain will flow down this hill and it will form a bit of a lake here. And if this lake gets deep enough, like it's raining enough, it will then flood over the road. Of course, that's not going to happen because this is Cities Skylines. But I feel maybe if you do a bit of detailing with some maybe tunnels or something like that, or if we were just to do an elevated section in the middle of the road somewhere, I don't know if I can do it. No, I can't do it because unfortunately I haven't unlocked all 81 tiles. But somewhere about there, just to let the imaginary water flow through, would be just a nod to accept that actually that would be a problem in real life maybe. But it's not real life, is it? It's a Cities Skylines map, right? Anyway, heading down. Look at the hill. Look at that hill. It's just iconic. Very nicely done, I've got to say. Anyway, the National Road, Mass Transit National Road, heading down here into Start Square. We're right in the middle of the Start Square here, so you can build in most directions there. And it feels pretty good. We've also got the rail that heads down this way as well. We'll take a little fly, a very quick fly. I'm not going to drag this one out. Again, we've got one or two trees under the underside of the rail, but not as many as the highway, which is a little bit weird. Oh, Siren's coming for those of you playing BonBonBingo. Link is in the description. As always, this one is a fire engine. It's normally ambulances, but we've got a fire engine. You don't get extra points for fire engine, by the way. Maybe you should, but you don't. Anyway, yeah, the rail, it just tacks back. There's where we cross back under the road, past the a little bit of glitching on the beach there, just a little bit. It's not a huge problem again. Anyway, that links right back to where we were over there. So back to the start square, and I'm going to show you what I mean by this map really encourages you to explore, because this is nice. You've got a lot of buildable space here, but where do you go from here? There's no highways to lead you into the map. There's nothing to really drag you in. How about if we head over this way? All of this just feels like virgin territory. We've got plenty of land. It's not super flat. Those of you that like a super flat map, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. But those of you that like working with like a realistic terrain, this is it. And it's buildable. And of course, you can always flatten the land while you're or just before you build the area. That whether you do it with mods or with the in-game ability to shift soil about, I think these are all good things. Anyway, head over here. We've got a little highway over here on the edge of the map again with some trees underneath it. That's another way in, but it's kind of a dead end. I guess it'll allow you to have through traffic if you start really connecting things up. Now down here, like the shape of this river, it's probably my favourite river on the map actually. Do like that. A little bit spewing around with the waterfall. I'd like to see a little bit more control on the waterfall, but not, again, a big issue. I'm quite happy with that. I also like over here, we've got a dry river. To counterbalance the spewing the waterfall, we've got a zero waterfall there. And again, it's nice. Don't entirely buy into it, but it's good enough for me to really appreciate it. Another really lovely river going on here. And the way that it feeds down, we've got the lake, a little waterfall going on there as well. So lots of good things going on with this river. Does feel a little bit gouged at the top where the water spawn point is. Just a little bit of softening up here, and it would be very nice indeed. Now, speaking of gouging, now these two rivers over this side, from a distance, these look great. But as you get close, I just do not buy into these two rivers in any way, shape or form. They're not working for me. I'd remove them personally if it were me. But it's not me, is it? It's somebody else's map. And we're all allowed to have our own visions, and it's fine. Anyway, out here we've got some islands dotted around. Good strong islands. This one is, I mean, I don't know, I don't have a word for it. It's big enough to build on. It's kind of interesting. Lacks any personality, but it's an island. It's an island, and it's definitely big enough to really add something to the map, which is good. Now down here, have a little look here. This is always a danger for Blue Mantle when you get that edge along there. If I head down, there's a tiny hint of Blue Mantle under there. I'm not going to cry, but if I don't show it, people will complain. You missed the Blue Mantle under there. No, I didn't. This is something we covered before, and it has been pointed out to me how this happens, but if you have a look at some of these trees, they are in straight lines. And bushes there, bushes here. It was explained to me, it's not because of the prop line tool. It's a setting in tree brush or something like that. I can't remember. I'm sorry, whoever it was who told me, can you tell me again? Tell me enough times it will stick, I promise. But yeah, down here you can see even more of them. I have no real major issue again with this, but it's something, if you see that happening, going over it with the tree brush just to soften it out and just to hide the fact that it happens, yeah. Beaches, I like the shapes of them from top down. When you get down to sideways on, they feel a bit lumpy. 10 meters isn't too high for a beach, but they haven't been worked brilliantly well. But again, I like these shapes on the locations for them. We've got a tree on the beach as well, very close to the water, that I don't buy into that tree at that point. But I'm not going to lose more than like 1/10 of a star of the detailing score for that on its own. This island here, well, the cliff texture, I feel the island is a little bit blanchy. It's very smooth, and the cliff, I feel, just needs to be worked a little bit. Some more verticals in there, and just some ridges into that. Just add a little bit of definition to it to take the map to the next level. This, if I remember rightly, is the oil, and I feel this needs to be worked quite heavily. I would actually have a lot of trees over this with just some areas revealed to make it easy to start building on. I don't feel on this particular map with the theme that we're using that it works brilliantly well. The theme was Clara. So yes, Clara with the really light film LUT, in case you're wondering. But yes, I feel I'd be hiding these with forests with just hints, maybe a square or a block for buildability. Now here we are with the correct relight settings. You may prefer this. If you do, then you can have a shout at me. But this is how the map was supposed to look. Well, certainly with the relight settings that were provided. And so yes, this is me taking the time to put things right without having to make a separate show where I put things right in a separate show, you know. But I really do like the map, and I like the way that it just makes you want to build into the map, and I just explore that whole area in the back there, that whole plateau in the back. It's lovely, lovely design on the map. I'm a big fan. Big fan, and I think Calisarin is going to give us something very special in the future. Maybe not today though. Pretty good today. Oh, a little bit of flooding there. What's that about? Anyway, if you're still here, your chance to vote on the map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now. Take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure you vote on the correct map, because there are 2 maps today. But what do I think of today's first map? Well, it's like I say, aesthetically, it's slightly better, I feel, with the correct relight settings, so give some credit there. I think the design pops, and I think there's quite a few things to talk about. certain work that can be done just to make it work a little bit more appealing, like a couple of those rivers that don't really work for me, but I still think it falls into 4 stars, but we'll go at the bottom end of 4. Detailing on the whole pretty reasonable. I don't know that I can really go into the 4 stars because there's plenty of little grumbly points for me, but a very high 3 stars is a valiant effort. So first map, good score. Gameplay, I really fancy this map. I really do. I'll never have time to play it, but I really fancy it. I'm going to give this one a middle 4 stars because Citadel range by Calisarin definitely looks playable to me, and I'm all over it. Great work. Great first map. And there'll be a great second map coming along right after this intermission, so don't touch that dial. And so back with our second map of the day. Now this one again is 3 years on the workshop, and it is one of those maps that's been buzzing around on the Patreon list to vote in for quite a while. Finally we've got around to having a look at it. It's a real life location, but from a few years ago, before land reclamation and how things were when the settlers first arrived, and before they started basically ruining everything. When I say the settlers, I mean mostly the Brits, of course. We're on the east coast of the United States of America in what is now modern day Boston, and I'll show you a little bit of Google Earth up and over. We'll merge it in for a few moments as well before we do the flyover. So anyway, are you ready for today's second map? Oh good. It's Shawmut, Boston before 1630 by the real Papa. Right, Shawmut, or Shawmut, I guess, possibly, is the old local name before we came and renamed it. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, the native name, I guess. There's your start square. That looks buildable to me. And here's your coast. Now, this means very little to me because I'm a Brit, okay? All I know there's tea in the water somewhere. That's all I know. We've got strong resources. And, oh, this old gamer was here quite recently. Perhaps he might recognise something. There's your fishing if you happen to have Sunset Harbour. Okay, off to the workshop. Woohoo! What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. You'll need the oak tree, the live oak tree, the sugar maple full set, and we'll be using the Cedar Valley 4K theme with the realistic 1.2 LUT. Nicely written description with all the bits and bobs and a few links to places where you can find out more about the area. Now here's that top down again. We'll just do a little bit of Google Earth, a little merge in the current map as closely as I could match it. It's not quite an exact match, with a little bit of transparency left on so you can see. I'll merge it back out and I'll merge it back in one more time. Have a little look at the airports as well. Look how the airport is completely underwater where it is now, and out it goes again. See, it's amazing how places change over the years, isn't it? Let's have a look at this map anyway. We've had enough playing about with the transition tool. Okay, so we've got the 2-lane mass transit highways. The map itself, unless you know that this is a Boston recreation, it's kind of lost on you, I feel. It's just an ordinary map. But what makes the map is that it has become, or it can be converted into, or the challenge even of creating a real life location as it is now. And especially if you're going to play this one using proper in-game rules with proper finances and buying and selling of soil. I don't mean buying and selling of soil, but you know what I mean, the soil limitations. If you're going to do it that way, this could be a fun challenge. It could be. It's not one that I would enjoy personally. That doesn't mean I can't see it as being playable. Oh, here's another one of those merging of lanes. Look how much better, how much smoother that merge into a highway is than the map we saw previously. And this one is, of course, a much older map. But the real Papa. Who's the daddy? Who's the daddy? It's not me, I tell you. Anyway, little elevated section here, a little bit of flooding going on along, but it's elevated, so that does not matter at all. Doesn't matter. I don't know if that's a long-term thing or not. I wouldn't have thought so. It probably will evaporate. Maybe start of map water flow issues, possibly, maybe. And anyway, just follow the highway. Plenty of trees. And like I say, only 3 sets of trees to subscribe to, which isn't a huge amount. And I get a feeling that had this map been released now, this map would have been made with 100% vanilla trees, given that we now have some very nice Mr. Maison. He said Miyagi, not Miyagi. Too many Misters. Mr. Maison trees. Dennis does make the very best trees. So, yes. And we have access to them now. There's your start square intersection, for want of a better phrase. It's just a little triangle. And then this will head us down. Excuse me. This will head us down to this little connector that connects us across onto the island. Now, again, somebody's going to say to me, oh, this is downtown, or this is uptown, or this is... I don't know Boston. I'm not going to spend hours looking at map matching things up. You guys are the experts. If you were looking to build Boston, you'll know this way better than I. But from what I've checked, I think the map's been put together very nicely, and it's a pretty good, pretty loyal rendition of what it should be. Little bridge over there. I'm kind of skipping over this a little bit higher now, because you've kind of seen now, haven't you? You've kind of seen. As this heads up this way, the roads will split and we get highways running off to the edge of the map, kind of over in the top left there. Now, if I pull the camera back, where are we? Here we go. The rail. We've got a little bit of rail. For those of you that want rail, I'm pretty sure Boston has rail. Pretty sure Boston has rail. I know it does. There's in that where Fallout 4 was set. And there's definitely rail in Fallout 4. Or was rail in Fallout 4 before it all got collapsed and everything. Pretty sure of that. I haven't played that for a while. It's a game I miss. So I digress a little bit. It's a game I miss. I'm not a big shooterer, but that game definitely fitted my sort of standards, my level gameplay ability. And liked it. Elevator at the end there. Probably works for real life. I'm just making that up, of course, trying to find excuses because I've not been to check to see where it's elevated at the end in real life. We've also got some rail over here which just stops just shy of the start square down this way, and again that looks perfectly fine to me. I have no grumbles with that at all. Lots of trees, big tree coverage with little lakes as well. Little lake leading to a little river. And again, quite a neat little river. Notice, not a tree in the river. There's, again, credits to be given for that, only because mostly we find trees sat in those said rivers. And all told, again, it just looks like a... To me, if I didn't know any better, I'd just say it's an ordinary, plain map. But, of course, we have got the challenge of rebuilding Boston. Of course, yeah, if you've got the airport's DLC, your airport is going to go under here. Yeah? Just in this splash of water over here. You won't have any flooding problems, I absolutely guarantee you that. If you've done your job right. But yeah, it's good and strong, and just interesting. And interesting can make a map just a little bit, yeah, just the story, the backstory, and having to recreate or remake Boston as it was in 1630. What do you think? What do you think? This is your chance to let me know what you think. Is this a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now. It'll take you to the voting page. And remember to vote on the correct map, because there are 2 of them. Okay, let's have a look at today's second map. Well, I feel that this one, I mean, it's a little bit underwhelming without knowing what you're looking at. And I think even knowing what you're looking at is still a little bit underwhelming, isn't it? It's just nothing amazing. but it's realistic enough to what we were trying to achieve, and for that I have to give some credit. I can't go to 4 stars. Probably go above middle 3, say medium high 3, because there's nothing wrong with it. And with detailing, I can kind of do the same. There's nothing really to blow you away with this one. They have gone to some effort to make sure it's correct, so that's good. Got a thumbs up here. But I don't see I can go to 4 stars, so let's match medium high 3. For gameplay, I'm going to go into 4 stars because there are the 2 options. There's the ability to play it normally, which seems fine, or to recreate the city with a lot of reclamation. Shawmut, Boston before 1630 by the real Papa, looks interesting. It's not my taste, but it looks interesting. So it's good. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. Make sure you're joining me for my new streaming career. Yes! Cities Skylines live stream. There'll be links on my channel for when I'm going to be on. Don't call me, read it, okay? And, oh, by the way, if you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elites. Hello. Use the words of the day, score some population points just for fun, and I'll be back on Friday with another map in the What's Map series. Have a great day. I'll see you very, very soon.